Ice navigation, why is it important? So we need to find out why ice is of our concern, the problems associated with ice. The problems associated with ice are, first of all, ice is very difficult to recognize on the target, and due to, as it presents poor target. As it presents poor target, the ice is difficult to recognize on the radar, and also if there is ice, there will be fog. Then if there is ice, the vessel movement will be restricted. Then there will be need for frequent change of course and speed. Coastal features, they will be covered in ice, which will make them unrecognizable, and the efficiency of many of our aids to navigation, that will decrease. For example, the lighthouse, their range of visibility of the light, that is going to decrease. Raycons, their transmission will get affected. The radio waves, their propagation will get affected. Celestial navigation, the horizon, it's gonna get obscured, so difficulty in taking the celestial sights. Refraction of light due to ice, that is going to get affected. Then the surveys, ice, areas which usually have presence of ice, the surveys are very less or inappropriate. Not inappropriate, but they are not that much frequent ice surveys. So the nav charts, they will have limited information, they're gonna be less accurate, and the surveys which have been carried out in ice covered areas, they are less. Then the ice is also going to affect our compasses. Magnetic compass near the poles, it is going to be affected due to large variations. The gyro is also needing horizontal directive force, so there will be a loss of horizontal directive force about 85 degree of latitude. To counteract that one, we need two gyros if the vessel is going into polar regions. Now the logs like the ecosounder, that's our depth log, and our another log is for speed and distance log. They're going to get affected. Why? Due to the turbulence, due to ice. And उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करने के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट है that we need to speed, distance and depth log. And you can call it is all, this concept is also known as duplicacy. The equipment, they have to be duplicated, but also the requirement with duplicacy is that they have to be working on different principles, because if they both are working on the same principle, if one fault comes, both will be at fault. But if they are working on different principle, then we know that okay, एक प्रोपोगेशन में डिटेक्शन में फॉल्ट आया है, तो दूसरे वाले में वही फॉल्ट तो नहीं होगा. Secondly, so what's the solution for ice? Shipwise, they have been divided into two ships. The polar ships, they are permanently operating in the polar region. Ships which are permanently operating in the polar region. And second is ice class vessels. Ice class vessel, they need additional strengthening. Why? Because of the impact of ice and the aggressive stresses that they frequently have to undergo. And also, vessels operating in polar region, they need to have a dedicated ice navigator. Other than STCW course, there is a course for ice navigator. Now, what are the signs of ice? First of all, let's go nature wise. Wildlife. In the Arctic, there will be seals and birds, the presence of seals and birds. In the Antarctic, there will be snow petrels and penguins. Then another one is, usually if when the ice cracks, it makes a loud noise, so you might hear some cracking noise. And if the ice is in vicinity, there is a presence of growlers and drift ice. ice fragments on the leeward side because the ice will be breaking and then flowing with the current. So small fragments on the leeward side. And also if there is ice, there will be no swell. If there is some fresh wind is blowing but still you don't see any swell, that's a sign of ice indication. Then how the sea is going to give you identification? The cold current. If the vessel is prevailing in the area of cold current, presence of cold current. And what precautions you have to take? Reduce the speed and post extra lookout. So you see the wildlife, penguin, seal, petrels, any growlers, ice fragments which are on the leeward side, any cracking sound with no swell, very cold current, the seawater temperature is very low. These are the indications. You decrease the, and to be on the safe side, decrease the speed and post extra lookout. Visibility wise, icebergs can be sighted up to 2 nautical miles on radar in clear visibility. Another visibility is when there is fog plus sun, because if there is ice, presence of a fog is there. So in when there is sunlight, there will be bright white object as iceberg. If there is only fog and no sunlight, it might be overcast, it might be evening time, then these are seen as very dark black masses with occasional white spots of the waves breaking. When the waves breaks on the iceberg, so here there are, you can see some white spots. Now, so you have find it out how these are the signs of ice. So the vessel might be entering ice area. What are the preparations that you need to do? Preparations prior entry or the considerations. Get the latest ice information. Get the latest ice information. What information you will find in the ice? It will give the type of ice, the concentration of the ice, the weather forecast you have to obtain, because they also might have some details. Then you have to know, are there any limits of the area ice limit which you are not supposed to go check in the ice reports, weather forecast or in relevant admiralty publications. And also if in case the vessel might get besetted in the ice, you might need icebreakers. So just check what are the services providing icebreakers. Also you have to check if your own ship is allowed as per class to enter the ice area. So you have to check for your classification. If you're ice classified, check you have sufficient bunkers and store, because the vessel might get besetted, your arrival time might get delayed. You need extra bunkers, stores, the heaters have to be running, engines have to be kept running. Then check if you are in ballast condition, loaded condition, no issue. Ballast condition, you have to check the depth of water over the propeller tip. Why? Because the propeller has to be submerged in the water. If it is up, the ice will be coming floating on the surface of the water, and then the propeller will be breaking the ice, and the chances of damage of propeller. Then enter the ice at slow speed. Keep the engine ready for immediate maneuver. And if you see any icebergs, you have to give a very wide berth to the icebergs. Then, so now you are entering the ice. Also, you see that the weather reports may nothing has been listed, or latest ice information, nothing has been listed. Then as per SOLAS chapter 5 regulation 35, the master of vessel, he has to make a reporting for any observed ice, derelict or any dangers. How he can be done? It has to be done chapter 5 regulation 32. So how easy to remember is chapter 5 and regulation 32, 3 plus 2 5 and chapter 5. So this is for ice. And 5 ways. Transmit a danger message, which is supposed to have the kind of ice derelict or danger that you have observed, the position where it was observed, the time when it was observed, and also the date, because when you transmit it they need to know the position of this iceberg was at this particular location at this time on this date, so they can calculate, okay, 2 days have passed, how the current is setting and which ways the iceberg might be going. So now you have made the report also, and now you will be entering the area. You must know how the ice might get formed on the vessel, which is known as formation, accretion, or accumulation. He might ask the list the ways of accretion of ice or accumulation of ice on the vessel, or the formation of ice on the vessel. For this, it can be formation, accretion, and accumulation. 3 words, 3 ways. Number one is fog. We know fog is consisted of very minute water particulates. So how the fog is formed? The sea surface water is warm and the air temperature is very freezing. So the air is cold, water is hot. We can take it like kind of our water kettle. The water and water vapors are also over there. The fog. And when this fog, water vapors, water particulates touch the vessel, we know that the surface becomes watery. Now there is already, the air is freezing. It is usually have to be around -2 degrees centigrade. That will result in the formation of that water is going to get frozen and ice, layer of ice you can see. That's how it is formed by ice. Then second is ice by drizzle, rain, or snow. Formation of ice via drizzle, rain, or snow. Number third is seawater. Seawater, how does it forms? When the weather is very heavy, air temperature, freezing temperature, we mentioned already before, -2 degrees centigrade. And when the weather is heavy, the ship is going, the water spray comes out, the water breaks on the deck. Freezing temperature, all these conditions combined, the water slowly starts to get frozen. Okay, now you have to go into the area. You have done the reporting. You know by these ways ice will be formed. What best to do? How can you avoid the formation of ice? Because ice is many, formation of ice on the vessel will result in damage in stability. First, if possible, head for warm waters. Check for any shelter if it is possible. If you might have some island, some port, proceed to there for shelter if that's a possibility. Then you have to observe the movement of the ice, how the ice is moving. So it should not be like that you are going and you are going into more deeper danger. So monitor the movement of the ice and reduce your speed to the minimum. By reducing your speed to the minimum, what you are doing is that the water spray and water breaking on the deck, you are reducing that one. So less water spray, less water breaking on the deck, less ice formation on the deck. And check when the water is coming, it has to also go. We have the water escape routes in the form of our scuppers and all. So if they are clogged, if they are blocked, water will get blocked in the scupper, and then eventually on the deck, from the deck it won't be able to get drained, and that water will form, and then you'll have a thick layer of ice. So much better. So water escape routes have to be kept clear. So even if the water comes on the deck, this water will be going out and less ice accumulation. So that's our information about ice. Why ice is of concern? What are the problems associated with the ice? Difficulty to recognize, identification difficult. Then it affects our aids to navigation. The areas of ice, they are going to get affected. Our compass, they do get affected. Then how can you sight the ice? Signs of ice by the birds, wildlife, by the sound, any drift ice. And if a good visibility, how you are going to find out? It can be very easily identifiable to 20 miles in the radar. Then ice combined with fog, but good sun, you can easily sight the icebergs. If it is dark, then dark black mass with white spots and white waves breaking. Then you have to reporting as per SOLAS chapter 5 regulation 32. It has got 5. You have to first make a danger transmit message, and what are the things, what kind of the danger, what is the position of the danger, what time the danger was there, and what was the date. Then preparations prior entry, you have to get the latest information, all the sources which will give you details of the ice, and how your vessel is equipped. Does it have extra strengthening, and is it classed for ice? Because it has got various different requirements. Then how you are going to avoid ice on the vessel? Accretion, accumulation, formation, it can be asked in 3 ways. So the fog is there, water particulates, ice, if direct ice is falling, and water, it gets frozen. Basically water combined with freezing temperature -2 degrees centigrade up to, it will result in ice. How do you avoid the ice? Head for warmer weathers, or take a shelter, reduce the speed to minimum to reduce your water spray, water breaking on the deck, and avoid any water getting accumulated on the deck. Keep the scuppers empty. And just for vessels going into the ice, duplicacy, your essential equipments, they have to be duplicated. Like the gyro have to be 2 different gyros, and logs, echo sounder, 2 echo sounder, speed log, 2 speed logs, and they have to be working on different principle. So that's it with ice. Ciao ciao.